work with HIV awareness and women's health.
Many of the orphans in APA supporting are children of the parents that are affected with HIV/AIDS.
And they're standing before you are these just beautiful children with these, they're wearing smiles like diamonds and these big eyes, and they're just happy. And Dr. Ingeder walks in, and he couldn't even contain himself, and tears were just streaming down his face. I felt like I saw his heart.
So the delivery of medicine is human right. All of us are entitled to it.
And there were people who came from hundreds of miles away in Ethiopia. So, you literally had people by foot, by horseback, donkey, any way they can get there.
This is a team effort. I'm only an instrument.
He saw the need for this, and I think he saw that nothing was being done on a massive scale.
We feel that we get back more than what we give.
It's the most meaningful thing I've ever been a part of in my entire life, and it's worth more than anything you can imagine.
We would hope that the organization would continue once we depart this earth, and that we can make a difference in the healthcare system in Ethiopia.
If I can wish for this world, is that we all have healthy nations, regardless of religion, regardless of national origin, that we all live together as brothers, sisters, to better this world.
Tadasse in Los Angeles is a family rehabilitation program established in July 1993 in Ethiopia. The organization's short-term goal is to provide low-cost housing, food, basic health care, and education to sponsored families for the first 2 years. The long-term goal is to provide technical assistance and income-generating funds to enable families become self-sufficient and break the cycle of poverty.
I came to the United States because I was a political refugee. Actually, when I left Ethiopia, I went to Europe. That's where I went to school. And I was politically active, and I was one of those active students in the Ethiopian Student Union and whatnot. And then I couldn't go back home. So I came here after I finished my education. Well, personally, it wasn't that much of a culture shock. I mean, it was different. It's not Ethiopia. And I always wanted to go back home. So it was more the psychological acceptance of not going back home. That was much more difficult for me to deal with than really the culture shock. And also when I lived in Europe, Europe is a very nice place to go to school, and it's beautiful and everything, but it's not a place for immigrants, okay? So if it's hard here in America, to be integrated as an immigrant, it's even harder over there. So comparing the two, this was an easier place to, just to be yourself and live your life. So that part of the United States I liked. I'm a member of an organization called Tadasse in Los Angeles. Tadasse means hope. And why we call our organization Tadasse in Los Angeles is because we support homeless and needy families in Ethiopia. We take them off the streets, rent homes for them, send the children to school, give them basic health care, and give them a monthly allowance to help them to become self-sufficient. And a lot of times, a lot of these people that we help are single mothers. They didn't start out as single mothers. They had husbands who died in the war, or they were abandoned because of poverty. So they need help. They need vocational trainings. Now, we also have, this is what we call our family rehabilitation program, and the motto is helping one family at a time. Now we also have expanded to a community program where we help one community at a time. For instance, we're digging now a water well in one rural village. And this well is going to support 2,000 people. It'll only cost us about $10,000. So we do these things, and most of the people that support us are Ethiopians. I mean, we invite everybody when we do our fundraisers. They're bilingual fundraisers. But most of the support we've been getting is from the Ethiopian community. And I think it's also because Ethiopians are connected. and want to do something for back home. So that's what we do. Okay. The first thing that I want everybody to know, whether it be Ethiopians, Americans, anybody, just any humanitarian, I believe that none of us are islands in the sea of humanity. I think we are all humanity. So I do believe that this is a responsibility of everybody, not just Ethiopians. And I believe since the need is so high, it doesn't matter who you support or where you start, it's very, very important. Now, when we do fundraisers, I mean, I do believe, I want people to support us because of what it is that we do. But I also tell people, if they want to go and duplicate it and do exactly what we're doing themselves, and not through our organizations, I support that too. Because every dime, every penny is very, very important. No help, no donation is too much. You can give $100 million, it's not enough. But no donation is too little. You can give $10 and it will do something. So that's what we do. That's all. I mean, that's all I want to say to corporations is just support us. Every dime is accounted for. Our books are open. And you will be happy and you will see that we're really doing something. And what I do want to add is we do show results. I mean, we are very much result-oriented because the women who started this, we are women, we're Ethiopian women, we're all immigrants here, and we wanted to do something, but we wanted to do with something with little money, with little resource. And so that's why we started the family rehabilitation program. You see the people getting off the streets into the homes. That's a step that everybody can see. Africa is just the center of AIDS right now in the world. There are 12 million children who are orphaned by AIDS, and that number is growing. And Ethiopia is one of the countries that has really been, that has AIDS just, taking the lives of so many people. And it's been the country that has also repressed the information about AIDS, that the government didn't talk about it for a very long time. So the world community, or whoever was investing in helping, get rid or at least curb the expansion of the disease, they could not be a part. Ethiopia was not a part of all that. So it's just now that the government is talking about AIDS in Ethiopia. What we do, because like I said, we are a very small organization, at least the people we sponsor off the streets, we do give them AIDS education. We tell them also birth control, because most of them are single mothers. And one of, I think, the wonderful things that I am able to share is that since we've sponsored these families, only one woman has had a baby since sponsorship. So they really do listen to the message. But what I want to say in general about AIDS is, or any other disease right now, if Ethiopians abroad can support, health development of health clinics all over the country with health officers, that would just really be very, very important. But I always say, and I think, health and education, especially of the younger generation, you need to deal with it, and we need to deal with it now and immediately, because it doesn't wait. Kids grow, there's no education. Kids grow without food, that's malnutrition, which is known to be one of the reasons why for brain not developing the way it should. So that's why these kinds of issues we should really try and tackle right now, as soon as possible. What I would want to say to the younger generation is stay connected. Stay connected with your community. Stay connected with each other. If you're here in the United States, stay connected to Ethiopia also. That's just very important. Well, to me personally, it's very, very important. And to those in Ethiopia, I would say, especially right now where it's very, very difficult, keep your humanity. Don't let anybody take away your humanity, your humaneness. And if you can do that, you will prevail.
Most Ethiopians in America are relentless pressure of the American dream. Most are hard workers. They strive to improve themselves educationally and economically.
I ended up in Los Angeles purely for acting. I mean, after Kansas, I went to Texas and finished my computer science there and worked for a couple of years. Then I started taking classes just for fun on the side for acting classes. And I really liked it. And I was like, hell, what am I doing here in the office, 9 till 5 job? You know, it's just driving me nuts. Oh, I hate to say it, but I was a little bit disappointed because I thought I was starstruck. I thought I was gonna see, oh, Hollywood, I'm gonna see a lot of stars, I'm gonna see all my favorite, and it was a bunch of bums and tourists. I was like, shoot, Hollywood. But I was a little bit disappointed, but I think it kind of grew on me, as most people, when I talk to them, you know. At first is you get kind of caught with, you know, you got, I don't know, you just, it's not as attractive as they make it out to be on movies and books and hear about it. How did I well, it's kind of gradual. It's really gradual because the culture shock is big, you know, from Ethiopian culture, but it's gradually, slowly. I got to meet Americans, and in college, the main thing is to make friends with Americans, and then you start learning a lot from them instead of, you know, being just with Ethiopians. When you find Ethiopians within, that's really comfortable to do that. But I had roommates, American roommates in college, and that helped me, you know, adapt the American culture and the language and all that. But I feel kind of unique because it's not very much known culture in America. So I kind of like that. I like that part.
Being unique.
Yeah, being different. And a lot of people, since they don't know about it, they ask me more questions, they get curious, and I love telling them about it. One thing I found out about all this, you know, I have enough time to search for myself and what happiness means and what happiness means to other people. And the acting business, one thing I realized, which is I find it healthy for me, and even in any other business, the struggle is as valuable and as validating to you as the getting there to your final goal. I find that just the struggle is gratifying, self-gratifying by itself, and I'm happy with that. I'm content with the struggle, even if it doesn't come to the final goals. Ethiopians, whether they live in America or in Ethiopia, is not to worry so much of what they're expected to do, and to follow their passion while they're still young, to have enough knowledge, to read as much as they can, and pretty much to you know, insist on their passion till they achieve it, because you'll never get your youth back. What to do when you're still young.